All right. Good afternoon, evening, night, wherever. Welcome to another Link to the Past randomizer tournament match. We have a Group O match versus Andy versus Emosaru. My name is Tracy M. With me today is Iwala Koala. Welcome. How you doing, Iwala?
Hey, Tracy, I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So Emo has played 2 matches. Andy, this is his first. Actually, I know Emo lost the second one. I don't recall. I should have checked. I should have checked. I don't remember if she's 1-1 or 0-2. But Andy in his tournament debut. And here we go. We've got regular Key Sanity.
Going off what I see on Quartile's unofficial, Emo lost her second match, but I cannot verify that for certain.
Okay, so we have, both getting bombs in that first chest, which is always really nice, and both doing an uncle start.
Sanity, a very nice mode for new players. It's standard world start or open world start, and just find a bunch of keys and all the other stuff we need.
Not a bomb tree pull that's very useful. Fairies are nice, but at the beginning we can't even use them very usefully. Got more bombs at the uncle chest. And Andy picking up 20 rupees over at the uncle. A little more efficient to do the uncle first if you're going to save and quit out of here, because you don't have to walk all the way back, but not a big difference. Both are going to save and quit out of this, because, you don't get a weapon to do escape, you just leave.
I would have been very curious if someone took those bombs and started going to escape.
6, I think 5 is minimum. That'd be really, really tight.
Both getting a moon pearl out of sync, so not too crazy there.
Yeah, nice to get a moon pearl earlier. So some of you may not know this, but we did recently get forum responses for commentators, and Emo wanted to make put something in that says she particularly wants us to read her thing. She said, "I'm the most famous for making Emo Tracker, adding auto tracking, and ruining randomizer forever." Also enjoys cooking, the smell of vintage 2-inch analog tapes, and run an obnoxiously well-equipped recording studio. Andy, on the other hand, just says, "I am Rando Grandpa." He is a rando
These
grandpa.
runners, though, have been around a long time in the
Oh, they sure have.
Just a heart container on Lumberjack. No fancy aga required today. Maybe.
At least not for the item. We hope not for Dark World, but can't say that for sure yet. Nice sword on the Lost Ways drop down, though. And a small key. I assume Emo got that before. Mm-hmm. Small key to Turtle Rock. Okay, yeah. So on the tracker. Reg doing our tracker today. Tracker's the MVPs of our tournament. Can't do it without him. Emo gonna be the first into Blind's hut. Okay, more bombs is good. Early heart container is kind of nice. We know we're not getting that one at Lumberjack. Map to pods, so we'll be able to check and see what that is, whether it's a pendant or a crystal.
Can't forget about the red boomerang, the community dubbed bad boomerang.
The only good boomerang is a hookshot.
Yeah.
We did get powder, though. Powder is the one fetch quest item that at least has other uses for safety. So, nice to have that early. Kind of an underwhelming Blind's Hut, though. Bombs early, not an issue, which is really nice. Small key to Hera.
Oh, good.
Better to have that early and not have to go back for it. Although I guess we don't have a fire source for it yet. We're just short of money for the bottle vendor right now. Emo is just going to go ahead and drop down again to get that extra money. We'll see what Andy decides to do. Hopefully this is worth it for this drop, for her dropping back down in.
I know that bottle vendor can be stingy sometimes. Just like
Plagues
that.
now. Youch. Andy realizing he doesn't have bottle vendor money, looks like he's gonna go farm a little bit. I'm sure he'll be happy to see that single rupee. At this point, the only good thing about it is that you don't have to think about it later.
Mhm. Emo finding that lamp, though.
Lamp is nice. We are starting to get the pieces of an Agaseed, though. This mode putting castle towers in their vanilla locations means that we just need a master sword or a cape, and Aga will be in logic. And we even get a fire rod
And
to
the
boot,
fire.
so we got all the fire sources.
Now Hera Basement has no chance.
Yeah, I was starting to get suspicious of Hera Basement, but you're probably right. It'll probably just be bait. Okay, we got anything on the library? Just 10 arrows. And Emo gonna blind check the race game. If you feel like there's things that you might turn down, that you might want, I kind of like this.
I'm a big fan of it in Key Sanity because you know there's a lot more items that you're going to
Oh, for
potentially
sure.
want.
Just bombs. It looks like she's gonna take them. I mean, we're still early.
Always good to have bombs.
Yeah, Andy's just gonna check it without. He's just gonna check it, and he won't be picking those up because even if he wanted them, there's no way you go back for bombs.
He was at 9 anyway. There's no need to spend the bomb to gain 2.
Mm-hmm. Okay, pretty typical. Looks like both going towards South Shore. Gonna do the dam. We'll see if either one of them does an Aegina check instead of going over to Mini Moldorm.
Big 20 in the dam. Take a look and see if anything's wet that's worth picking up.
Just a heart piece. It's like Emo's just says, it's early, I might as well pick it up. It's not too far out of the way. I will see if Andy does the same. Yeah, not surprising Andy says, nope, I don't need any more heart pieces. And then I'll get in chests.
No route divergence yet for our 2 runners. Pretty common, I'd say, for early game. Get your sword to get your bombs. You might as well just murder some Moldorms.
More bombs. 20 rupees. The other boomerang. And a compass to Thieves Town. Which, yeah, I mean, in this mode, compasses are just going to tell you the number of items in a dungeon that you have left, and Thieves Town is a pretty easy one to track, so that's not really very useful.
Both players deciding, you know what, early game, not hole out, let's take the walk over to Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, we haven't gotten our Dark World access yet. We're still missing one item from Aga. Don't have anything in terms of hammers and gloves. And just a piece of heart. Okay, so you've got a lamp. And you got a fire rod. Doesn't really lead you to much. That lamp could be for Eastern Palace big key chest. It could be for escape.
I like the idea of escape here. Technically needs the Hyrule Castle small key to put back in logic if you don't have the glove. But it could just be on the way.
Yeah, in Key Sandy mode, if this were a regular mode, I'd probably steal the key and see what's in the back. Can't really do that in Key Sandy. I mean, you can do that in Key Sandy mode, but then you're forced to find that key to get those items. And he's going to take a slightly different route. He's going to go ahead and fake flipper over here. The man under the bridge. This is one of those checks. It just really is hard to route in nicely. So, you know, when you're pretty sparse at the beginning, not a bad idea. Just do it.
Yeah, no sweat here. Knocking it out early. He also might take this Moon Pearl and go up and do Waterfall check as well with this fake flipper state.
Yeah, looks like he might just do that. I'm not a huge fan of that part of this because A, you don't have Zora money, and B, is really this bridge check is not on the way to Zora, but we'll see what's there.
And I missed on emo screen. I don't think there was anything really in Dark Cross.
Nothing super useful. And to get out, you do have to death warp because that door locks behind you.
Yep.
Oh, chat telling us there was a Thieves Town Small there, which it's nice
That's
to
a
have
pretty
that
big
before you
key
go.
then,
Yeah, it's a nice
for a
one to
small key.
have before going into Thieves Town. Of course, who knows if they'll have the hammer at that point.
Andy finding a Quake medallion in Waterfall. Emo grabbing that glove though. That is
Yeah,
gonna open up
that
the back
glove.
as well.
Yeah, that glove is in logic too. Now, even though we now have access to the back because this is Key Sandy, these next chests still aren't in logic because we're no guarantee we get the Hyrule Castle small key. That said, Emo can't lock herself out if she does it right, and she's not gonna. No one's gonna mess this up. So she will. You know, she has no worries about going and checking these.
Yeah, no better time to knock this out than now, especially at low health right now. You can easily death warp out.
Yep. Like Andy will also get that glove. Glove will also give them limited mountain access. With that lamp, it's even in logic. However, there's only 2 items you can get up there. And we get a big key to Swamp, one of our fetch quest big keys. Another one that's good to have before you go to a dungeon, but yeah, it's not really one you get excited about.
We're going to take that glove straight away and go right back to the back of Escape.
Yeah, I like this.
Doesn't want to leave anything behind.
3 items. You don't have a lot of really good choices after this. And a whole lot of nothing. So now I think your choices are you go ahead and go to the mountain, or you go and you do a eastern area. And there's also a Gina hanging out there in, you know, a super far out of the way place. And of course, those gloves also put Zora in logic, which we are nowhere close to money for. Emo going for the item density of the eastern area.
I do like this as well, though, since Saha can give you the green pendant info. Some good things to have in Key Sanity early on.
Yeah, I like this. I also like the idea of the mountain play just to get the save quit spot, but that's still only 2 checks, so item density for this instead is really good.
Green pendant is going to be Hera today.
And nothing. And there's 4 items we can get out of Eastern Palace right now, and they're all in logic. You know, the lamp putting the big key chest in logic. Could be that it's just whatever we're looking for is just sitting in there. It's like Andy. Also going to check back of Escape. We'll see whether he chooses Saha Eastern or if he decides to go to the mountain after that.
Curious to see what they'll get next. Will it be like a hammer or a glove for instant Dark World access, or a cape or a sword for Aga?
Ideally, if you're the runners, you want to see a hammer. A glove is okay too. If you see that second sword or the cape, then do you go to Aga or do you wait and try and do something else? Looks like Andy's going to choose the mountain.
Always a tough call, personally. It's like, do I do the rest of the checks I could do? Hope I can skip Aga. We know there's nothing on Lumberjack, so maybe, but it's always a tough call.
Yeah, the one thing, I mean, unless I get a whole lot of money, I'm definitely not going Zora before Aga.
No, definitely not.
But some of the other checks, you know, maybe if I get a flute, Gina's a little bit better, you know. So it's actually still this mountain check from Andy. Guess it just depends on what else you get. Also, the other issue with Aga right now is if you go to the Dark World through the Aga portal, there's not a whole lot to do. We've got a glove to get over to Catfish, and we can go into Pod and open one chest logically. So I could definitely see the argument for not going there right away. And you getting flippers though, putting Zora doubly in logic. And putting that Quake medallion that he picked up that does absolutely nothing for us right now in logic as well. So far, nothing in Eastern either. Piece of heart on Spec Rock. Bombs in Spec Rock. So we're down, between the two runners, we're down to this last check in Eastern, Zora and Agena. Unless I'm forgetting something. I'm sure chat will tell me if I'm forgetting something.
And he did check the guy into the bridge, so that's not
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, he's gonna do the Eastern area as well.
Just a map in Eastern for GT. Not exactly one we want to find.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Haven't seen one of these in a while, but there's a reasonable chance that this is going to be a farm rupees for Zora seed. At least we have a glove. Emo saying, you know what? I'm thinking she may already be thinking Zora, and what she can do here is she can hit the rock here on the way and farm those rupees on the way to Zora. Well, farm the rupees on the way to Agena and then have the rupees for Zora if she needs them afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Or she can just go right by the rock and just do Agena. That's also a choice. She also doesn't have the knowledge of the flippers on the old man that puts it doubly in logic. So, not that being doubly in logic matters, but it would give her 3 extra items over there that we know aren't progression, but she does not.
Houlihan would be allowed, chat, so if you want, you can... There's a couple setups for it. The 2 that I know of involve the graveyard behind next to Sank, and you just push it open, drop a bomb, and kind of punch yourself in. Emo finding the mitts, very much opening up this seed now.
Wow, okay.
The other one I was going to say was using like a little splash method. If you don't have the flippers, you can do that and jump into the ferry east of Graveyard Cave. That'll get you a big 250 rupee pack.
Yeah, you need to either not have the flippers or have one of glove or boots for the setups I know how to do. So Andy would have to do the glove setup where you bomb yourself into the hole where you drop down into the back of escape. Emo would have her choice of that or doing just the no flippers version.
Emo gonna head back to CAC, gonna show us the first look into the Dark World.
Yeah, question in chat, will Andy skip Agena? I doubt it, because he's running out of stuff, and if you have no money for Zora, you're probably doing Agena first. We do see Pod and Meyer are crystals, Meyer being a red crystal. Early map check for our Key Sandy seed. Also pointing out the fact that Andy having those flippers, or having fake flippered already to the Zora area, it's only 1 check for him, whereas had Emo had the flippers, it would be 3 for her. Again, if she had money.
Emo wasting no time going straight into Skullwoods.
Yeah, in Key Sandy, I like the Skullwoods play a lot because you can... It's 6 items in the front. Those who like to call Skullwoods just more overworld, in Key Sandy, I agree with that statement. In normal modes, you know, you've got 8 checks and 2 items, but in Key Sandy, they're all going to be items, so. Compass for Skullwoods, yay.
Nice to find in the same dungeon you're in, just so you don't
Yeah.
forget how many counts you're at.
I mean, some dungeons I find the compass more useful than others. Skullwoods is one of the stranger dungeons in its layout, so not always a bad thing to have that compass. So,
I just
whatever.
remembered that we have the fire rod. I wonder if Emo is going to just take this key and go straight to Mothula.
Yeah, she could, and we don't know if this is a pendant or a crystal. We have one more pendant outstanding, so. It'll be a tough fight. Green mail, fighter sword, no extra magic.
Andy definitely feeling the Zora vibe here. Going to do that hula hand trick, get a whole bunch of money. Still going to come out a little short if my math is correct.
Yeah. I imagine he being much closer to Zora money and with a lot fewer things left on the table probably does hit that rock for farming. And then probably won't actually go to Zora because he'll get his mitts in Aegina's cave. Emo trying to get as much magic as she can. Really doesn't have... Yeah, she has to use the lamp for some of this because her magic is pretty low.
That dead hand coming very close to grabbing her, though.
Oh, this is bad? Okay, well... Look, I mean, it sucks to die there, but, you know, you're not that far off from start. It's a little better than dying to Moth, I'd say. Looks like she's gonna pivot and check this chest first, because you never know. This could be something good.
Meanwhile, Andy in the land of pottery that he has become very familiar with doing lately, getting a whole bunch of money to try and get that very expensive fish.
Yeah, unfortunately, just rupees in the back of Skullwoods here.
We'll see if Emo tries to go a second round or... Yep. Oh no, just gonna back out and cut our losses and try to find something else.
Yeah, I might have taken a death just to get my hearts back. Just because those Ropas will just destroy you if you get hit, but she's fine. Okay, Andy successfully dodging all the desert area items with 1 heart. And there Andy gets his myth saves and quits. I expect to see him follow Emo to the Dark World. Don't know if he'll do Skullwoods or not. We'll see.
I mean, with those flippers, Andy could do east side of Dark World.
It's a long walk. Oh, that would have been a nice refill. Unfortunately, not the 4th piece of heart there for Emo.
Just arrows in there.
Yeah, not a whole lot of useful stuff in Skullwoods. Yeah, I don't mind this play to just bail on Skullwoods if I'm Emo. That's a really tough moth fight, and you don't even know for sure it's a crystal.
Yeah.
Coming back later when you can just, you know, destroy moth really easily with a better sword, or even just having better health to make it safer. Anything, there's so many things that can make that fight better that I think leaving it for now is fine. And he also in Skullwoods now. Gonna get that magic refill.
Very good spot for magic.
Yeah, it's one of those game knowledge. I think most people know that this magic pot is here, but it's so nice that that's right there. And then just gets himself grabbed by the hand.
Emo finding
finding
a very nice item.
Yeah, that'll help her out. Now, Andy's not missing that item. But Emo's going to have a little bit of a head start with boots, which is always nice.
Gonna take the early Thieves Tip, just the small key that she has right now. No big key yet.
Yeah, you kind of hope not to find the big key, because you don't know, because then you have to commit to finishing it or not commit finishing it. If you try and finish it now, you're probably leaving the big chest. Big key to Eastern. Well, that's a thing.
One more item over there she could grab.
Yeah, let's hope we get the bow before we have to go back to Eastern, because the triple dip Eastern is no fun at all.
Andy taking a quick death warp to refill his health, and maybe we'll get a moth fight on his side.
Looks like he is going to go for it. His magic situation is a little bit better because he grabbed that pot, and a useless map for Emo, because Hyrule Castle map doesn't tell us anything. Bunny Beam, unfortunately, just couldn't quite get away from it. Gonna slow him up a little bit. There's that refill. Andy at full health going into this moth fight has a handful of, looks like maybe 3 fire rod shots to help him out. Mothula, one of only 2 bosses that the fighter sword will hurt, and unfortunately does take a death here.
Yeah,
just showing how tough this. Yeah, it's a tough fight. See if he goes back in
take
for
3
it.
hits there. Wants to go round 2 with Moth though. Doesn't want to give up yet.
Emo says no to the compass at dig game.
Emo still got Zora on the back of her mind. Wants to farm up some money, play a little game of archery. Why not?
Don't see this very often in non-inverted seeds. I don't think she had enough for the dig game, so she might just stop there. Oh wait, okay, no, she must have done the dig game already, because you don't want to grab the smith before you do that.
Yeah, she did dig game, and she's at like the perfect amount if she wants to like go to pod or something.
Right. So she'll take this over to Hype Cave and then probably save and quit. Turn the smith in. And she doesn't have access to pod because she hasn't gotten those flippers up at the old man. Andy, in the meantime, is starting out a lot better on this fight, but it's still a really tough one. Okay, he was able to use a couple fire rod shots. It's going to help. Yeah, I was saying before, Mothula, one of only 2 Dark World bosses that a regular fighter sword shot will damage. The other one being blind. There we go.
It's the kill. Very nice.
Gets a map. Unfortunately, not a great item, but does at least get a crystal. So did have to do this at some point. A shovel for Emo, but a bow is really nice.
And she does have that Eastern big key as well. Could have it right back there.
That's a full clearable Eastern Palace. But first we gotta turn off this smith. Yeah, doing these boots checks on the way to turning the smith makes a lot of sense as well. And an ice rod. Don't know if we need that yet. Andy's gonna finish up his Skullwoods checks. And with no Skullwood small keys, has to go to the back here. Or drop down like he did, and then he'll save and quit out, and we'll see what he does next. Probably, I mean, I gotta believe he goes to Village of Outcasts.
The
Yeah,
Smith does not like Lumberjack, as it turns out.
No, unlike the cross keys or entrance version of the Smith, he doesn't go in everywhere. Cross keys is a lot of fun. The Smith will follow you everywhere.
Oh, yes.
I've taken him all the way through GT Basement before. It's great.
Now we get the Smith back home. And for 10 rupees, he gets us another item.
Okay. A cape. I do not believe either one of them has scouted Bumper Ledge. That's a nice to have item, but probably not needed. Wouldn't surprise me if Emo immediately checked to see if that was useful. Okay, and he'll get his boots.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna get his boots. He's gonna do pretty much all the things that Emo did, I would assume. The one difference is he might have his eye on flippering over to Pod, especially once he gets that bow.
You might want to grab the purple box of, I think the check takes way too long, that's the official name, and gonna walk it over to the old
Not the
locksmith.
official name, but maybe it should be. That's a good one.
Of course, early mitts, though, you gotta think something has to come out of here, right? Like, that's just the player in me thinking, oh, these early checks. Gotta get them.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a mirror in here, as you know, we had a couple of quarrels with mirrors in or behind purple chest, but we got a sword.
Get a sword.
That's a nice find. She could end up with a sword advantage on Andy for the rest of the seed. He may never actually do that purple chest.
Emo does have the shovel. We're gonna quick dig, see what's buried here.
Yeah, there's no real good time to route this in unless you have the mirror and you do it at the same time as Stumpy, so I guess we'll just do it. And it is important, potentially. Okay, it's a pendant Hera. It's a green pendant Hera, so it's a big unknown.
With the small key and fire, the only thing lacking is a way to get there.
Yep. Once we can get there, we can full clear it. I don't know if we want to, being a pendant and all. We don't have a hookshot to Hera pot. Maybe we'll get the rare Hera potless seed because the one time. Unlike the other big keys that we can skip, every once in a while the game will just say no and put the hookshot behind that clip.
Always fun, especially that's also the Samaria in Icebreaker chest.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Always a fun one.
Okay,
and we're gonna take that big key and the bow and just say, let's finish this Eastern.
I think that makes sense. Now, we have no pod small keys, so there's not a whole lot Andy will be able to do in pod if he does decide to go there. But with the bow, it does open a few additional checks beyond the very first chest and even the two bow side ones. Andy is going to at least grab the Smith. Yeah, Emo going for the faster bow strat, but unfortunately the faster bow strat is faster in some sense because it's harder. I don't know if that's true, but it's definitely more difficult than the old pot strat.
You're a fan of NMG. I think they enjoy the bow. Well, no, you don't even have the bow in that room, so never mind.
We got a mirror behind the Eastern Big Key. That's nice.
That mirror could lead Emo back to Tower of Hera as well.
Yeah, it's, we have everything for Hera, and Emo hasn't even been on the mountain, so that makes a lot of sense for her to go up there after this. Especially given that, again, there's so little we can do in pod, since we have 0 small keys.
And he's gonna take a quick dip into the bomb shop and see what our other 5/6 crystal is.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's done a map check. Oh, Skullwood. So once he does Mire, which we're a ways from being able to do Mire, but he will be able to do Pyramid Berry. Meanwhile, Emo gonna get on the board with her first dungeon clear, which is a crystal. I was about to say first crystal, but I realized we still have 1 pendant outstanding. Fortunately for Emo, not Eastern. Andy taking a death. Probably wanted to do Pyramid and/or Catfish. It's probably just going to abandon those for now. Just turn it into
He wasn't
Smith.
planning on going to pod, because the Smith also does not like pod.
Well, the Smith will get overwritten by the monkey, so it's even worse than that. I mean, as far as overworld deaths, that's not one of the worst ones you could take for sure. And he gets his ice rod, which is nice. Are we gonna get the lumberjack check this time from Emo? No, just gonna go straight to the mountain.
Back up.
Yeah, for Emo, this ends up being quite a few checks. She'll get her flippers as well. Big question is Andy gonna go and finish out this chain and do purple chest, get that sword, or is he gonna go straight to Eastern? Or does he have some other idea of what to do here? It's his cape. Emo seeing there's nothing worth anything inside Spectral Rock. And you're gonna run to the shovel check.
We get our first look at Hera.
And also finds his Hera Big Key. And our first pod small. About time game. There's 6 of them. And money no longer an issue. Well, that's not entirely true. But we do have Zora money on Emo's side now. Yeah, Andy gonna go ahead and finish out Eastern as well, so he'll get his mirror.
Nice bomb jump for Emo. Gets us a Samaria.
So yeah, that is an important item. We already know that Misery Mire is a crystal. There's a really good chance that Total Rock also a crystal. We may actually, let me think. Yeah, we may actually have Well, except Flute. We can't quite get another dungeon we can't get to. But once we can, we have everything we need for it.
Don't yet know what
Between the
kind
two
it is.
runners,
We know
yeah.
there's a Quake out there that Andy had from
Right.
Waterfall Fairy, but
Yeah, the statement I meant to make was, yeah, oh, we might have everything for it if
fair,
Quake
yeah.
is a medallion. But yeah. Did Andy just skip the big chest? Oh, that's a hammer. Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Andy, go back. Hopefully he notices the numbers at the top of his screen that say 4 out of 6 at some point and realizes to go back in for that big chest. It is the mirror. And it's looking like that mirror is probably required. We don't know for sure whether Swamp's a pendant or a crystal yet, but we don't know where the hookshot is either. And without the hookshot, he's not getting to Hera. Without the hookshot or that mirror.
We're gonna take that 30-second coffee break on Hera basement. Might as well since we have the small key, we have fire. We're right here.
Yeah, we got that small key really early, and we've had fire for a while, so it makes sense to check it.
Armos gets his second crystal, actually. That's what he did Skull Wiz earlier.
Okay, moment of truth. Okay, he realizes.
Okay.
This could be one of those situations where the compass actually may have saved him. I don't know. He might have just realized it right away, even without the compass there. But definitely one of the good things about having that. He's going to lose a little bit of time to this, but better to lose time to go back in for it now than to miss that item. Small key on the floating island. We're going to want to pick that up. Barrel cave, always better with boots.
There's his mirror. Thank God he went back in for that.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I mean, this race could have been over real quick if he doesn't get that mirror for a long, long time. He's gonna follow it immediately. He'll be happy he did. With a hammer and a cane sitting in Tower of Hera. Paradox with a big key to ice. Another one of those, I mean, logically required big key, but assuming it's a crystal. But more of a fetch quest key, because we can get around that in several ways. Big key to Thieves Town. And now Thieves Town full clearable, because we have the hammer and the small key. And I believe that's our first bottle. So some nice stuff in Paradox. Looks like Andy's going to do the basement first. If you're going to do it anyway, I have a bad habit myself of forgetting to do the basement if I don't do it first. I don't know if Andy is thinking in those terms or just wants to, you know, if there's something here, maybe you abandon the rest of the checks. But there's nothing here, so he'll go back in and do the rest of the dungeon, I'm sure.
I think of it in terms of the game gave me the key and fire pretty early. Maybe there's a chance that something is actually here, so I might as well do it.
Okay, so Bombos for Turtle Rock, so neither one of them is going to be able to open that up right now. Super Bunny, worthless. See if we can get an item out of Hookshot Cave. I don't know if Emo can hover or not. Everyone knows Andy can hover.
does have one item in logic with the boots
Yep.
that you can bonk to.
Yeah, so at least get this one. Small key to Turtle Rock. We're gonna need at least 3 of those to finish the seed. I think
Oh,
she's
she
gonna
gonna
go
try
for
it?
it. Yeah, she's gonna go for it. That berry in a very bad spot.
And just one and
Okay.
done. Just like, yeah, no.
Yeah. Oh, no, hey, she's going back in. No, she's gonna go back in for that small key.
Yeah.
I think against someone like Andy, who you know is just gonna be able to hover those, you just hope that there's nothing there, and don't waste your time going for it. I think the one try on it is fine. And another pod small. We need some of those. And you'll have a slightly harder Moldorm fight, as he does not have the Master Sword out of the purple chest. You'll have to do essentially a vanilla fight here, or an MG fight. And gets his hammer. Meantime, we're going to see Spike Cave from Emo. Gonna cut it.
This looks
really
very
tight.
close. Oh, dear.
Not quite enough health and magic to cover that.
Unfortunately, even with blue mail spikes, still do that 100 damage.
Okay, I think this will be a Thieves Town play here. We know it's a crystal. We have everything we need to full clear it, so makes a lot of sense. And there's Thieves Town.
Oh, good point. I don't think Emo did check Sick Kid.
I have not seen Sick Kid from either one. And yeah, the bottle's new, so it would have been done now. With the mirror, she can just do it right after Thieves Town, though. It's probably a little bit more efficient than running all the way down, doing it, going into the Dark World. Probably a small difference, though. So we've been fine to just do it first, I think. And you're just gonna hover this right now.
Because swag.
Preview of things to come in Hookshot Cave. Andy, of course, probably hoping that this is a Quake lock TR, but no such luck. Although maybe you don't want it to be Quake because you don't really want to enter it right now.
Yeah, with one small key, you're not going to get very far.
Nope, not at all. This is nothing in Super Bunny. Cart container. With blue mail at this point, we really don't need a lot more of those. Okay, here we go. We get to find out what are we gonna get in these other chests. Bombs. Small key to pod. Okay, that's skippable. Logically needing all 6, but you can clear it pretty easily with 5. And if you really don't want, if you really are in a pinch and don't want to open that front door, you can actually do it with just 4. So Emo, having missed that small key, probably not gonna be punished for it. Proto Rock big key on blind is interesting though. 2 small keys will get us to the big chest.
And to Laser Bridge. If she skips the lava chest with
Right.
the pokey.
I think you need 3 to put Laser Bridge actually in logic, but I mean, you're not gonna go do lava chest, which is behind 4 smalls anyway. And he also gonna go for this spike cave check. See if he makes it. And Hammer Pegs gives us a small key.
Just big money in Spike Cave. Not a whole lot that Emo missed out on.
Yep. So one thing to note that pod small key in Hookshot Cave does tell us, pod being a crystal means that the hookshot cannot be in GT because it gates the pod logic to finish the dungeon. Just a piece of heart on the magic bat. Looks like Andy's gonna do some mirror checks.
If I had to guess, I'll probably go back to Thieves Town and finish that up.
Yeah, I mean, you could check the first chest of swamp, but that's such a terrible play without the swamp small. I don't see him doing that. Sick kid with a flute.
I mean, he has to listen to that melody all day, so...
Yeah, we have our potential Mire Axe. We don't have a Mire Big Key. I forgot to notice that before, but we could have something. We could have 6 checks in there if it's Quake. Emo still not having that Quake, though, so she's not going to be able to get in for sure. And he's going to do Hammer Pegs. We'll see if he picks up the purple chest here. My guess, probably going to do Thieves Town first and maybe finish with picking up that chest. If he's going to do it at all. It's a very not useful Skullwood small, since he's fully cleared that dungeon already.
Just a compass on the bumper ledge, nothing special there.
Okay, here Emo's gonna do her lumberjack check.
I think Andy did not have enough magic, so he did a fake powder with actual powder.
Yeah, that is a thing you can do. And since he does have that purple chest, what he can do is he can mirror right in front of Thieves Town, flute that purple chest away, turn it in, and then flute back and be right there to go into Thieves Town. If he gets the flute. He has to get the flute first. Let's see if he checks Sick Kid. Yeah. Now that I think about it, I'm a little surprised he decided to pick up that purple chest before. Yeah, he's just going to abandon it, because getting a crystal, it's not going to still be there when he's done. Fortunately, if he still really wants it, not going to be that far away. Okay, Emo is going to go back and clean up Skullwoods. much better, situation here with blue mail,
Old magic.
more
this time.
hearts. Yeah, going in with magic. Last time she didn't actually even make it to Moth, and with that skull with small key, she doesn't have to kill this Gibdo, which is really nice.
Hammer as well does do a little bit more damage than Master Sword. At least slashes. Going for the spin approach though.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the spins because you can double hit them. Just don't try it with a tempered or a gold sword. You won't like the result.
And after this cleanup of Thieves Town from Andy, our runners will have the same dungeons cleared.
Yep. Andy is up a little bit of the Zora area, but not the whole thing. Emo having done the purple chest. Andy also did some of those south mirror checks as well. Are we getting Ice Palace? We're getting Ice Palace. We're not getting Ice Palace. We're first getting a Lake Hylia Island check, which is just rupees, and maybe Zora. Nope, we're doing ice first. Okay. Makes sense to do the actual crystal dungeon first before heading over to Zora.
Do we know that ice is a crystal?
I don't believe we know. Okay. It makes sense doing the dungeon that might be a crystal first.
Right, yeah. We have the big key, we have, Samaria to speed things up if we want to.
The full clearable dungeon, so, the only thing we're missing for this dungeon is the hookshot. Which, we don't need with Samaria.
Without a small key, though, it could be logically required.
Logically, oh yeah, absolutely. That's another thing, that if it is a logically required hookshot, which we won't know until we know where those small keys are, then if this is a crystal, it's another thing that can tell Emo that that the hookshot can't be in GT if that becomes an issue. Of course, Swamp Palace might just be a crystal, in which case the point is moot. We know we need it. But we're down to Ice, Turtle Rock, and Swamp for our last pendant. So the nice thing here is if Emo finishes this and it is a pendant, she'll have full knowledge. Andy gonna clean up Graveyard Ledge. It's our first Misery Mire small key. Logically needed for the left side, but in practicality, you don't need a single one of those to finish that dungeon.
Just a skull with small key and Graveyard Ledge, nothing that our runners need since they have both already cleared it.
Oh, there is the Swamp Small. So ice required in some way or another, either to get that Swamp Small if a swamp is a crystal, or to finish because it's a crystal, or possibly both. If Turtle Rock is the last crystal.
Amy's going to give us our first catfish check. I don't believe Emo has done that yet.
No, we have not seen Catfish, and I suspect he'll follow this up with the rest of the Zora stuff that he hasn't done. Yeah, chat calling for Hookless Swamp. Nobody's idea of a fun time. And
Silver
silvers for
arrows.
Andy, which is nice, but certainly not what he was hoping for.
That could be huge, though, if Emo doesn't go back to Catfish and Andy doesn't do Purple Chest. Because he might not get that extra sword.
Yeah, that could be really interesting Ganon fight combination with one. If Emo ends up on Tempered or Gold with Andy maybe ending up on Master with Silvers. Oh, apparently Emo skipped Iced Tea Room? It was a disaster in a race that I called yesterday. It was a go mode mirror for both runners, but one runner was in Ice Palace for a long time, a lot earlier than the other, and skipped it. It's a very dangerous skip in Key Sandy. And that mode wasn't even Key Sandy. Yeah, so the sword that Andy's missing is in the purple chest. Andy had grabbed the purple chest and then decided to go into Thieves Town, and the purple chest won't still be there after you come out of... I think it might still be there if you don't beat the dungeon, but I know if you get a crystal, it will not still be there. Andy's also going to do Ice Palace, so hopefully he checks Ice Tea and we find out whether Emo is going to regret skipping that.
But we do get a crystal out of ice, so definitely required at least.
Yep. So we're down to Turtle Rock and Swamp Palace is our potential last crystals.
And if you're Emo right now, do you take that Swamp Small and go straight there? Even without a hookshot?
No, I don't know. I think well, she's doing the Zora area first, which makes sense because she hasn't done any of this. I don't like to play without the hookshot, but I mean, your other choices are a Mire without its big key, Pendant Desert Palace, which you know is a pendant. Mire, and you know, might not even be able. I would like to see her at least check the Mire area, but yeah, I could see going into Swamp sooner rather than later.
Yeah, with a nice bufferless icebreaker there.
Chat saying Mario without a big key is 100% better than the Hookless Swamp. I can't disagree with that statement. It doesn't make it the right play, though. You know, especially if you feel like you're the underdog, and I would assume that Emo probably feels like the underdog in this one. Doing stuff that maybe that you hope your opponent doesn't do to gain an advantage makes a lot of sense.
Emo could prove us wrong here, though.
Yeah, this feels like it might be Swamp, or it might be just some of these Southern Mirror checks that Andy did recently. Or she could be doing Pyramid Catfish. She hasn't done the bridge yet, so she could do that with the mirror right here, right now. Has access to a lot of things in Pod. 2 small keys gets you most of Pod if you hammer jump. Yeah, looks like Andy is going to check Iced Tea, so this is going to be a big moment of truth here. Okay, so she just wanted the 1 check. It's going to go over to the Mire area. I like this. There's a lot of things you can look at here. You can dip Desert, see if there's anything good in there. Desert being a pendant, we don't... There's only 2 items we can really get. It is Quake for Mire.
Just a blue potion in Iced Tea. Not the worst thing for Emo to skip, but it could be useful.
Yeah, it's a nice to have. Like, Andy's not going to be like, oh my god, I got a terrible item. But he's also going to not feel great about the... Like, he doesn't need that blue potion, likely. You never know. Emo now with the 2-sword advantage, getting tempered in the Misery Mire area. Andy will get that sword. Like, you're not skipping Mire Shed.
Especially with Crystal Mire, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and a book. I hate the book.
If you like Inverted, you love the book, but...
Yeah. Well, it depends. Is Desert Palace a crystal or a pendant? If it's a pendant, I don't want to ever see the book. But yeah, if I'm gonna get a book and a seed, I'd rather get it a lot earlier than this. Like Ether tablet, fairly well orphaned. Bombos isn't too bad to get to because you know it's in the area with swamp if you want to use it then. And you make an immediate use of that blue potion. Which I mean, maybe been using it more for the magic refill than anything else because that magic just let him use that fire rod to put that fire rod to very good use in finishing off the fight. And we got 2 items out. I didn't even see what was on the torch, and just a heart container in the center, and that's all Emo could do. Looks like Pod is the play now.
Interesting that Ema chose to not go into Mire. She does have that Quake medallion, but without the big key, it's not completable yet.
Let's see. I think Andy still has to do Sick Kid.
Yeah, he's still missing that flute.
And just money for the green pendant. But you don't really feel bad about that when you got a cane and a hammer there. It looks like we're going to converge in Pod for a little bit. Andy will also get his money. We are completely set for anything we might possibly want to buy. We could buy several. We could buy a ton of potions with that if we wanted to.
Andy does have one more pod small just based on hovering in Hookshot Cave, so I doubt this will really change much if Emo is conservative with the small key and like avoids the front door.
She's gonna avoid it for now.
I think that's smart.
I think Andy will go ahead and open it. Like, Andy could open it and still save 1 key for the boss if he doesn't want to do all the checks. Another Turtle Rock small key.
And of course, the colloquial pod small in pod.
Pod is small in pod, of course. And you can do the hover thing to get over to save time getting over to this right side. That's 3 Turtle Rock smalls, a big key that is a clearable, a finishable. Obviously, we can't full clear it without the 4th Turtle Rock small key. We might be seeing Turtle Rock sooner rather than later if, never mind, if Bombo shows up.
Yeah.
Oh, and the big key's right
big
in here.
Key in the dungeon. Emo didn't grab that?
No, not yet, because the way she routed, she took the bow side. Yeah. So Andy's gonna finish this dungeon. There's no reason not to. It probably changes how he uses his small keys a little bit. No, it'll probably just not open. I'm gonna guess that he just won't open up the big key chest. Looks like he's just gonna go ahead and finish this now.
Mm-hmm. I like this actually.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of just finishing the dungeon and then worrying about the other checks later in a key sanity mode. And that drop down chest is available with 1 key or with the bow, so Big key in logic, even though anything you can get from the big key is not. Small key to desert. Little unfortunate for Emo since she was literally just there. We are getting some things opening up here.
Oh, Emo saying, nah, I'm done with pod.
Yeah, I don't blame her. I mean, it's a little unfortunate she left that one key, but she's trying to not open that one door. And if she does open that, you know, her choice is to either go down the bow side to get that one key, in which case she would be able to mirror out and go down the bow side again to get to the boss, or if she opens the front door to get down that way, then she can't go to the boss. So it's a little unfortunate placement for her. And Andy gets a small key to Turtle Rock. That is all 4 Turtle Rock small keys. I think still gotta find that Bombos, but I would expect that if Andy finds that Bombos soon, he's gonna be going to Turtle Rock sooner rather than later.
And all Andy really has left before then would be like a dip into mire, finishing out pod, or a dip into swamp. We know there's nothing in desert right now.
Well, he still needs to go back to Sick Kid to get his flute.
That too.
So, you know, it's kind of one of those, when does Andy get his flute? I mean, Emo's in pretty good shape for now. That one pod small, hurting her a little bit.
Emo looks like she may get her silvers here, actually.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I mean, and there's still like 3 more pod small keys. I guess 2 more, because we saw 1 in pod. There's 2 more pod small keys out in the wild that would help her out. Yeah, I half agree with chat. I don't see Emo going back to pod without at least getting more pod smalls. If she gets up to 5 total, you know, including the ones she's used already, I could see maybe going back there sooner rather than later. It depends on what else she has at the time, really. This could be the hookless swamp play. And it's a small key to Ice Palace in the big chest, so at least if she never goes back to the big chest, she won't be hurting there. We didn't need that Ice Palace small, we're already done. Okay, we're gonna get a K45 dip first. The question is, does Andy even realize that he hasn't done Sick Kid? Or is it one of the, you know, it's either one of those things where he keeps saying, oh yeah, I still gotta do Sick Kid, and just never quite get back to it, or doesn't get back to it soon. Or he's just completely forgotten about it.
He might be playing the item dense locations first. Like, you can get, what, 5 items in swamp right now, or 6 if we have the big key?
Yeah, so here's the biggest problem with that Sick Kid location for Andy. The thing that would bring him back to that area would be flute activation. But it is the flute.
Right, it's right there.
It's the flute. So far, Bomba's tablet is nothing. Let's see, going back to the Mire area. Maybe this time I'm gonna go in.
I do the quick 2 checks on the right side of desert, see if that ever pays off.
Yeah, I wonder, maybe somebody in chat can answer this question, if it's faster to, you know, because you're going to the right side of desert, I feel like it might actually be faster to open that up with the book to get there. Because you get to save the mirror transitions anyway, and it's just a quicker walk. But the book, you know, animation's pretty darn long too, so I don't know.
The only reason I like with the mirror here is because she can just get right back to Mire if she's like.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If her plan is going to Mire next, then yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Andy, meanwhile, is going to go for the hookless swamp play.
Absolutely nothing on the right side of desert, just a bunch of money.
Unfortunate. Okay, so is she gonna go into my... Yeah, it looks like she's going right back to her portal, not floating away. I mean, this could be big advantage emo, depending on how long it takes Annie to get to that flute. But, you know, there are certain locations where you get something that you're like, oh, wow, my opponent may not get this for a long time. Sick Kid really isn't one of those.
Right. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I just got a flute back to 3 anytime, but if we don't have the flute, well,
Yeah,
then...
exactly. Okay, Swamp Big Key confirmed useless today. A bug net. Of course, and the worst part about the hookless swamp play, it's not even that you can't do diver down. Is that you have to do the two sides of the left side one at a time. Oh, and there's
There's our
that
bombos.
bombos. But Emo with only 3 Turtle Rock small keys. I mean, I expect her to go there pretty soon after this Meyer play with that bombos. But Lava Chest could play a role in this seed if there's something we need in there. And Andy's still on Fighter Sword. Emo just found Gold Sword.
Safe to say that Andy should end up with Tempered, though, since both those other swords were relatively all on the path.
Yeah, he might never get that purple chest sword, but I agree with you. I fully expect he'll get the other 2. And this is also going to open up Pyramid Fairy for Emo, so I wouldn't be surprised she does that. Although with a almost full clearable TR, you might just do that first. Emo noticing she's low on magics. Very smart. Heads up. Switches to
With
lamp.
that bombos, are we just a Meyer Big from Go mode?
Let's think about this for a second. Yeah, it sure looks that way. Well, it depends. Do we need a hookshot?
Oh, we don't know. Turtle Rock versus Swamp.
We don't know Turtle Rock versus Swamp. At this rate, there's a really good chance that hookshot's just sitting there hanging out in Turtle Rock. And we did get a mushroom, so another fetch quest for Emo. And Hookless Swamp, I don't think we saw a single useful thing in Hookless Swamp. See where Andy decides to head next. He might, you know, okay, I thought maybe this would be the time he might go grab that purple chest, but he's not going that way. This could just be Pyramid Ledge. I don't think no, Emo saw this.
Emo has done it, yes.
I believe it was a small key, but I forget to where. The biggest fetch quest. Oh, it was a Skullwood small. Okay, the fetch quest big key of Skullwoods for Emo in Meyer. Yeah, she's just saving quitting to wait. Oh, right, we can't finish Meyer, so we can't turn in the purple chest. Sorry, can't turn in the Pyramid Fairy crystals.
Looks like Emo's gonna try to follow up on this book with the Ether tablet, I would guess.
Yeah, I mean, she has to go up this way anyway without the hookshot, so this makes a lot of sense to do the Ether tablet first. But yeah, I fully expect this will be followed by my Turtle Rock play. Now let's see Andy going back over to Village Outcast. Does he check Sick Kid here?
Or is he going to go for that purple chest instead?
No, you could do both. Yeah, I feel like if you're not doing it now, you've just completely forgotten about it. And was that another pod small?
It was indeed.
So I think Andy's running out of things to do.
He did grab the purple chest, but did not check Sick Kid on the way.
No, he didn't. That's the time you would check it. Is like there's no other reason to go back over to Kakariko. And everything is behind. Everything that he's missing, that Emo has, is behind that flute. Andy does get his Master Sword, so he probably ends up on gold as well. We're gonna get some very quick Ganon fights.
Crystal there. I don't think we had a map yet. I could just be making that up.
Oh, there's a C there.
I was right.
Oh boy. So now this is really interesting because we know Andy doesn't need that hookshot. So for him, it's a go mode Meyer Big Key. If he ever goes and grabs his flute. Looks like he's headed that way now, so at least he's gonna get that. Emo, tried to hover, so that means I could see her just going without the hookshot. But we saw her not be able to do it on the hookshot cave checks. So
Andy finally
she's gonna have
that
to
flute as well.
Yeah. So she's gonna have to make that decision of how hard do I look for that hookshot. And Emo doing the thing that every one of us that's ever played a randomizer does fairly often when we don't have a hookshot into Turtle Rock. Has to go back, has to do this around the long way. But yeah, that hookshot not hard required, but it is logically required. And I don't just mean to get across the gap from Moldorm 2. Also going to be logically required because there's a 6 pod small in Hookshot Cave that Andy picked up from hovering. Yeah, and suddenly Andy's a Tempered Sword. Andy could gain a little bit of time if he skips the desert checks and, on the one hand, we know there's nothing there, but he might be thinking, I don't want to miss the...
This book could change things if he thinks like, oh, maybe that could point something in the desert.
There's that Meyer Big Key. So, yeah, this gets really interesting because Emo, pseudo go mode. I don't know. Again, what her feelings are going to be about
the pod big that was in the drop down chest.
Oh yeah. You're right. And as we kind of pointed out, it might be a while before she goes back there. But yeah, it is no mode for us.
Yeah, Andy gonna take the bait and go into desert as well from the front with the mirror, which I like as well.
Yeah, because you know what, the way this works out really well for Andy. I like the way he did that because now that tells me he's absolutely going into Myra right after this because now he'll be right there to do that. Once he's finished doing these checks in desert. But yeah, you're right. Emo going to continue to do checks, looking for that pod big key. But yeah, if Andy stays on the path he's on, he's going to be in go mode pretty soon. Okay, Andy doing all the stuff he can do in desert. Gonna hit that mirror portal. Gonna open up Misery Mire.
This will give him his bombos, which will point him back to Turtle Rock.
Yep. So hard required double dip into Misery Mire.
I was just gonna say, yep.
To answer chat, the GT big key is in GT. Now, the only caveat there is we only have one GT small. We need 2 to be able to guarantee we can get to everything in GT. But you can route it if you skip the map chest, which is behind 4 GT smalls. You can get all the others. So then would only be 1 location. The last time I saw a Key Sandy race earlier this tournament that had runners going into GT with one GT small, there were 3 that were picked up in GT in a matter of about a minute or 2.
Andy getting the nice RNG full magic drop from the bomb slug and doesn't need to pick up that pot. Just like, all right.
There's a GT small. I do wonder if Andy will think to do any extra checks to make sure he has enough GT smalls. And there's the hook shot. So Andy might not get that hook shot. I'm a little more worried that he might not get that GT small, depending on where the other 2 are. But again, if he routes correctly, he can get 21 out of the 22 chests pretty easily in GT, and just hope that it's not in that map room.
Emo has not been to Swamp yet, though, correct?
Correct.
So
this
that
could
point
could,
it to there for the pod.
I
big.
know. Well, she's gonna get another pod small if she does hookshot cave after this, which I would expect. So. And that
But of course, if
maybe-
you're in Emo shoes, it's like, okay, do I want to do a really dense, fully completable swamp or 1 check-in pod?
Yeah, I mean, it gives her more than just the. Let's see. It should give her a few more checks than just that, but yeah, that's a tough one.
Very quick work of Trinex with the butter sword, and not a problem.
And suddenly Andy has all 4 swords. And yeah, you could also be thinking the classic, well, my opponent surely did this. So I'm just gonna last location it, because I can't win anyway. But she's still very much in this race if she goes to pod sooner rather than later. But yeah, it is a tough sell. And Andy, as expected, gonna go take that Bombo straight to Turtle Rock. Emo gonna get another pod small here. That's the only thing of worth in this area. Looks like we're gonna head back to Spike Cave. Emo didn't quite make it all the way there, and you know, if this is an item that's useful, you're not gonna be back in this area again to get it. It's like that's 5 pod smalls for Andy. There's one out there missing. I wonder, it could be in the back of Swamp. It could be that logically we were supposed to go into Swamp for a pod small. But Andy's definitely not going to be doing that. We'll see if Emo... okay, so here's a moment of truth. Where are we fluting to? Oh, first we're going to do Meyer.
This is fine. I like this. This is fine.
Yeah, no,
gotta do it at
you
some
finish
point.
Meyer. You finish Meyer first. You go to the big chest. You hope that the pod big that you're missing is here. So the moment of truth will come after Meyer. Okay, let's see what's in the big chest here. If there's anything interesting.
Beating Meyer here will also open up a Pyramid Fairy for Emo.
That could also take her closer to pod, but might not be enough. Just a shield upgrade in the big chest.
Andy doing the same carousel, just wrapping around, waiting.
I'm gonna be really curious to see if Andy does laser bridge. Again, it's that single GT small that he has that would cause him to do it. It's not the hook shot.
If he's thinking about GT smalls, I think you do it here, but
Yeah.
if I'm in the situation, sometimes I'm forgetting GT as well, and I'm like, oh, I don't need more Gs.
It's one of those things that I didn't think about. Like I'm not in this tournament or challenge cup that's using the same settings, but it's one of those things where if I had played one of these seeds before watching anybody play, I wasn't thinking about. And then I saw a seed with one person walking into GT with a single GT small. I'm like, oh, that's a thing here. Because when they decided that the GT big was guaranteed in GT, they said nothing about where the GT smalls would be.
Right.
So there's no guarantee that there's any besides the 2 pot keys. 3 pot keys. 4 pot keys? However many pot keys there are. Right, there's 4, because there's the one next to the torch, there's the one if you go towards the compass room, there's the one on the climb, and then there's the one right before you start doing all the warp tile stuff. Okay, Andy did not do, I mean, I don't think you do Mimic Cave.
No, probably not.
Big chest, yeah, you could maybe do it, but probably not a big deal. Laser bridge, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I mean, if you're feeling confident in your hovers, meh, probably don't need to even bother.
Yeah, you're not thinking hookshot.
You're probably thinking more GT keys, if anything, but
yeah. No, if he's thinking GT keys, I think it's a good play to do this. But if you're not thinking about that, oh, he's gonna do it. Okay. Now he's gonna be happy you did for that again for that GT small, and he gets a hookshot out of it. Added bonus. And of course, it's the last chest.
Yep.
And now Andy is full and true 100% go mode, as long as he doesn't do anything stupid in GT. But Andy knows how to route GT to make sure he can use those small keys wisely.
He's played this game a few times.
Yeah, just a few times. There's no doubt in my mind that he checked that laser bridge hoping for a GT small. And here we go. Are we going to go Pyramid Fairy or are we going to go Swamp? We're going to go Pyramid Fairy first. I think that's smart.
Pyramid Fairy would make it much faster to go to Pod first as well, so hopefully, but...
Yeah, I mean, if she goes to Pod, this is a race. If she doesn't, then Andy just has a huge lead.
Oh, very nice hookshot into the hammer dash.
Yeah, that was neat.
Big fan of dashing with bomb. Not as easy as it looks. Oh, good point, chat. And he does still need to go kill Viddy.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's gonna be pretty quick. He's got silver, so it's gonna be a very easy fight, and you just got to get there. Which is why, if with Emo having to finish Pod, it would still be a race. But Emo is fluting away. This is not Pod. And Flute to 4 says Swamp. So that's really unfortunate. So to answer chat, the Pod big key is in Pod. It's in the chest where you drop down from the bridge. Which is in logic with 1 small key or the bow. Emo went in there with just 2 small keys, and I think wanted to save one of them to do the back. So it didn't open the front door, so would have had to loop around the bow locked side again just to get that check in. And chose not to, which is reasonable because it's slow. But unfortunately, that's going to really bite her here.
I've seen too many times where that check has bitten a lot of runners.
Oh, for sure.
Many a go mode item has been in that chest, so unfortunate.
Yeah, and I don't. Let's see. What? Okay, let's not have a desert big key here. I think that's the only thing that could open up more things. Like ether doesn't open anything. Yeah, so when Andy and Emo went into pod, Andy had an extra pod small because he had hovered Hookshot Cave, which was where one of the pod smalls was. We actually haven't found all 6 pod smalls. There's one out there somewhere.
I imagine Emo will probably find in Swamp.
I
In the
bet
back
it's
of
the back
Swamp,
of
at least.
swamp. I bet back of swamp was logically required. Okay, Andy's gonna make very quick work of Vitreous with those silver arrows. Sometimes I like the silver arrows better for Vidi than I do for Ganon.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even catch that we got red mail out of that.
So with that, unless Annie's going to search for some more GT small keys, all we have left
No.
is to start climbing GT.
He's heading up the GT. I see numbers.
Get your guesses in chat, 1 to 22. Where is the GT big key? It is guaranteed to be in GT in this mode.
Also, I'm curious to see if we'll find any GT small keys up here.
I mean, we had a small and a big pod key in pod. Surely we'll find
Yeah.
a GT key in GT.
Would not surprise me. We're getting new checks from Emo. We have not seen the back of Swamp at all. Half magic's nice. Not enough.
A little too late for that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, we know Andy's not getting half magic.
There
There it
the pod
is.
small.
So logically required back of Swamp. So 2 pod smalls logically behind the hookshot.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't expect to see Andy checking much beyond getting the big key. I mean, he's got to feel behind after last locating that flute on Sick Kid. So Emo having skipped the left side, maybe she'll think pod is a better play than going back in for left side swamp.
Especially with every pod small, she can get the checks that she may have skipped intentionally.
Yeah, she can get everything now. But nope, going back into left side. Again, probably the classic, if it's there, I've already lost, which at this point is true. Was not true a little bit earlier, because no way she could have known that Andy had left that flute for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Andy can go to the compass room, which makes a lot of sense with this key situation, because then you can steal the small key back here after compass room, mirror out, and be able to do the whole left side without worry. And get a small key to ice to boot. So that's our first 6 locations.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, blue cane. And he says, nope, don't want it.
He's got a cape. He doesn't need it. He probably doesn't
Yeah.
need the cape either, but...
Yeah, we shouldn't need the cape, but I mean, it's definitely the more useful of the 2 in the Ganon fight. So this will be 8, 9, 10, 11. There we
that GT
go.
small
There's
key.
the GT small key that we figured should show up somewhere in here.
And another one.
Yeah, there we go. 2 of them.
Because why not?
So he could have skipped. He could have skipped Laser Bridge. He would have been fine. But yeah,
With this, he'll
I
also get
don't
a
blame.
fire bar room here.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all for checking those just to be sure. And the Carol Castle small key. I don't remember what was. I don't remember what the 2 items were that were behind that small key, but they're now in logic. So. Okay, I don't. Yeah, Emo done with Swamp. Nothing else to do here.
Is mirror race? You gonna flute to 5 or somewhere else?
Yeah. Oh, did we ever turn in the mushroom?
Honestly, can't remember at this point. I want to say yes, but
a ped. No, this is a ped check. Right, we don't have a desert big, so. And I've completely lost track of what number we're on. But there it is. We have 5 locations left. Oh, was that the desert big key? Oh my god.
Oh.
I got fooled.
I think Andy was getting ready to menu to mirror and then was like,
yeah,
wait, that's not the big key.
Oh gosh, I saw that happen recently. I don't know if it was a tournament race or a ladder race or something, but yeah, somebody did that. Where they got, I want to say it was a Skull Woods big key there. And mirrored out after the Skull Woods big key. But it definitely fooled me.
Right.
Like, oh, hey, look, a big key. Oh, wait, there's still big keys that we haven't accounted for. That's okay. Less subtracting I need to do to figure out where the final key was.
This should be 19, 20, and 21 for Andy with 22
right.
tile room.
Yep. Oh my god.
And look at that. Who chose chaos today? Where my 22's at?
Yeah. Thanks, game. Oh, right. She never did iced tea. She's going back to iced tea before going back into pod.
Oh, no.
I mean, if you're thinking in terms of the if it's there, I already lost. I think iced tea is higher on that list of I've already lost than going back into pod. This is really unfortunate. And there it is. And Andy's smartly gonna grab some magic here. Alright, so to recap, Andy, full in go mode, just got his big key in tile room, because why not? Emo skipped the... We're going to see in just a second. Skip the drop-down chest for the spot where the Stoufos hang out in pod. That is where the pod big key is. She only had 2 small keys when she went in there and was trying to use them as judiciously as she possibly could. But left the in-logic check of that drop-down. And unfortunately missed the big key. The way she routed, she would have had to loop all the way back around through the bow side. Or open... I don't think she had a small key to open the front door. She might have had one left, I don't recall. But either way, she didn't get the pod big key and has been looking for it for a long time. Andy, on the other hand, last location, the flute in at Sick Kid. So this race was up in the air for a long time, kind of when does Emo go back to pod versus when does Andy go back for Sick Kid. Unfortunately, Sick Kid is kind of I mean, it's a nicer location, but, you know, after a certain point, if it's the only thing you have left, I mean, he got, I guess maybe the best way to put it is he got gated sooner. And there it is.
There's that big key. Yeah, you hate to see it.
And given that the only other locations, yeah, she's at 12 or 14 for this, which means she's only got 2 items left in pod, and one is the big chest, which we don't care about at this point. So it was the last item in pod for her. Andy flying through GT. No reason to check these chests. The
There's
only
probably
thing that
nothing
he,
that would help them at this point.
yeah, I mean, he doesn't know that he. I mean, the only thing that could help him at this point is half magic. He doesn't know it, but if he can't get that, we saw that in the back of Swamp. So, no reason to check those. He doesn't need that magic. I mean, he's got gold sword. He's got silvers, and he falls on the hover.
Proving that he didn't even need to check that hookshot laser bridge.
Now, maybe he did because he fell. I expect to see him try it again. There we go. There it is.
Ema finishing off her last crystal. Might get to GT by the time Andy hits Ganon.
Yeah, it's about right.
All things considered, still a pretty close race, I'd say.
Yeah, given the last locating we saw, yeah. Drop down. Yeah, so answer another question, chat. So the 2 changes to regular key sanity they made for the tournament was to put the Ganon's Tower big key in Ganon's Tower and also to put the Castle Tower small keys in Castle Tower. Which main thing that does is make Aga a little bit harder, a harder call to make because you're not getting Castle Tower small keys to point you there. But also make it a little more common that you'd have to do it. Handy just on 3 hearts, but already in phase 3.
And he has red mail. Like Ganon only does 2 hearts on red mail.
Yeah, he should be fine.
Emo gonna ascend GT, but a little
Not for
too
a
late.
while. She's got to find that tire room big key as well. Although, I mean, if there's ever a time to gamble it, wouldn't this be it? It's a tough call, though. Nice triple there at the bottom for Annie to finish off Ganon.
Emo going straight up, but doesn't realize she doesn't have the big key.
Yeah, she's gonna realize that pretty soon.
But that is time for Andy. Get your GGs in chat.
Finishing up with an official race time of 1:49:02. And I think Emo just saw the dot done, and I don't blame her for not wanting to finish. And she would have figured out that she needs to go find that big key shortly anyway.
In the rudest location possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if we can bring either one of these two in for an interview. And we do have Andy joining us. GG's, Andy.
Hello, GG's.
Okay, so flute. How nervous did that last location flute make you?
I mean, I was already pretty sure I was gonna lose anyways. So I was just kind of like, wow, that sucks. I definitely forgot about it. And then when I did purple chest, I was like, this isn't progression. And then I was
mean, it was
like, oh
nice.
god. Yeah, but I was pretty with the Mothula death, and then forgetting to open Eastern Big Chest in my second dip. I was like,
Yeah, oh my
that's,
god, I forgot about
that's like
that big chest.
3 minutes maybe that I was like already just behind for no reason.
Yep.
So yeah, I was just like waiting for the emo dot done to happen, and then it never happened. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you both tripped up
yeah,
on different things. So Emo, the big difference was Emo's pod routing didn't get the big key. She had one less small key walking in because she didn't get the one in Hookshot Cave. The nice, as it turns out, there were 2 pod small keys behind Hookshot, and that was the big difference. And looks like we have Emo joining us as well. GG's.
Hey, GG Andy. As I already
GG emo.
congratulations on not succumbing to the ants
Thank you.
and being destroyed before the game even started.
God. So while I was going through Skull Woods, I noticed many ants, little tiny sugar ants, crawling all over my desk.
Oh dear God.
Oh no.
So I was like, I died to moth. I was killing ants on my Super Nintendo, actually.
Oh no.
That's also why I'm gonna blame it on them, obviously. Why I forgot the
yeah, for
Eastern
sure.
Big
Of
Chest.
course.
So I like almost forfeit right there, and I was like, I just want to take care of this. But
Yeah,
uh,
I probably
That's a
would have.
new one on me.
Kelsey came in and helped me kill some. So we're fine.
So Kelsey's the real MVP of this one.
And now I get to clean my office and my desk for the rest of the evening. So that's cool.
God, I see somebody in chat suggesting that I sent ants. If I could send ants to just to people, Andy is really low on the list of people I would send ants to. Like, there's
If
so many.
If emo could send ants to somebody, there wouldn't be key sanity in this tournament.
That is correct. There would be a lot of changes if I could just send ants on people, like just at will. So far this tournament, so I hate key sanity, I hate inverted. So far this tournament, I have played 2 inverted key sanities and 1 regular key sanity. Everything sucks. But yeah, so I was looking at the time. I mean, basically, when I realized I had forgotten that chest in pod was shortly after I left, right? And I literally just forgot it, right? Like,
Okay.
And so had I, once I realized that I had left it behind, I was basically just like, well, if it's there, I lose. And so, that's why I was like, I'm not going back there. Like, I'll literally go just about anywhere. The only reason I didn't do iced tea before going back there and like bailed partway into ice was because I realized I was gonna have to walk around the dumb long way because I used the key.
Right.
Because I used the key because I was low on magic. So I was gonna have to like go all the way around, and I just didn't want to. So
yeah, it's a terrible check.
yeah. So basically,
It was nothing anyways.
Yeah, well, clearly. So
I had 0 keys going into ice and not enough magic, so I had to do the long way to get the extra small keys so I could open the stupid refill door.
Oh no, that's what I did too. Yeah. So
oh wait, no, it was a blue potion, so it was like a double slap in the face.
Oh god,
I would have needed it for magic either way.
Literally end me now. But yeah. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I just assumed I had the GT big key.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
Right at the end.
because you know what else is awesome? having 2 key sanity modes in one tournament with 2 different rule sets about the GT big key. So
Yep.
surely having basically last location the big key I needed, I must have the GT big key. I don't need to think about that.
Well, yeah. Did
So,
Andy tell you where the GT big key actually was?
oh yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I am aware. So
I
ba-
didn't say that the desert big key was in rando room, and I
Yeah.
almost mirrored when I got
oh,
it.
I
I
it
saw that
was
fooled
too.
like,
I was
I was
like,
like,
oh.
fooled me. I'm
happening.
like, oh hey, that's the big key, and I started to do the calc, because I started to do the little subtraction to figure out what the number was, and then I'm like, oh wait,
yeah.
that wasn't the right one.
Oh god. Yeah, I just literally wasn't thinking about it. And so, honestly, given the fact that that I full cleared swamp and like went and cleaned up all my like lingering crap except for, iced tea room before going back to pod, I was basically like, look, if I get to GT before Andy finishes, like that's fine. Like cuz given what happened, like that's the best you can hope for, like
Sure.
realistically at that point. And that's what happened. So like whatever, it's fine. I didn't get inverted key sanity this race, which would have been like a 1 in something stupid chance.
Yep.
I was hoping I would because then I could have forfeited at like 0 seconds and set fire to my rando t-shirt on stream, which I was going to do it. I threatened on
God.
Twitter. It was not a
Oh
joke.
God.
I would have
Oh
done it.
God.
But this shirt lives to be burned another day, I guess.
Is
The next inverted key
yeah, I was
sanity
like, is that
gets
could happen
pulled.
the next time you get inverted? If you get
No,
it
I
again?
mean, so if I get inverted keys in the next race, right? Like if there's the streak of ludicrous odds continues, then yes. But if there's anything else after this one and there's a break, sadly no. I
Okay.
have to like, I have to it has to actually be ridiculous for me to do it.
Okay, so Andy, I got a different question for you. So you get into Turtle Rock, you get the Meyer big key. You're theoretically in go mode. You know you're not going to need the hook shot, but you only have one GT small key. I'm guessing
Yeah.
that's why you checked Laser Bridge.
Yeah. I was looking at the stuff I had left. I had one thing in skull, one thing in pod, 2 things in desert, mushroom, and Bombo's tablet. And I was like, okay, that's 5 things. I could get screwed. And so I bailed on lava chest, big chest, mimic cave, and
Sure.
just did laser bridge instead. And I
That
got the
makes
hook shot, and I'm like, wow, that sucks. And then I got the small key, and I was like, okay, this is worth it. And then I got 2 of them install first room, and was like, cool, thanks, video
sense. Yeah.
game.
Yeah, we saw a C the other day that had 3 in about a 1 minute stretch in GT as well, in this exact mode. So that is a thing that can happen.
As much as I'd love to get owned by Firebar Room, only having 1 GT small key, it's not how I'd like to go down in a race.
No, of course not. Yeah, I figured that would be the one. That's the one you skip, of course. Just makes sense. But yeah, didn't end up mattering, and you got a hook shot, so that you didn't need to use, but whatever.
Yeah. Andy, did you hover Hookshot Cave the first time you were up there?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I remembered I got
started
a small key and I couldn't remember what it was. I knew
Oh,
that
yeah.
like I knew Turtle Rock small key was in Logic, but I couldn't remember for the life of me what the other key was. And so I just never thought about it.
Yeah, I like my curse with key sanity is like going and doing something like the pod play, making the mistake I did because I was trying to conserve keys and didn't want to go around again, and so it slipped my brain. And then like immediately, of course, like I think like 1 or 2 pod keys show up like right afterward, and I'm like, God, of course.
Yup.
Yep.
Mhm.
But the yeah, I started to hover, but my my controller, it's new pad time because over the course of the run, like I think every button on the controller except for the triggers stuck at least once.
Oh
Nice.
no.
That's always good.
Yeah, which is
So
like
so
super
he had
disconcerting.
ants versus sticky controller.
Yeah, so I feel like,
Yep.
in terms of like natural disasters, I'm actually I think the ants are worse, to be honest. Like I think the ants would have been more generally disconcerting than the controller. Like that's just god awful. That's like a plague.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
I had the same fear. I did Pyramid like not too long after Pod.
Yeah.
And I saw a small key. I'm like, oh, I swear to God, if this is
Yeah,
not small
yeah.
key, I'm gonna be so pissed. But was like desert or something. I don't. Oh, it was Meyer.
It was one of those
Skullwoods, I think.
Skull.
Yeah.
It was one of those unnecessary small
Yeah.
keys.
But
yeah, shout outs to the hookshot logically leading to 2 small keys in pod, because there was a logical the 6 pod small was in the back of swamp.
Yep.
gross.
Yep. It was all terrible. But GG.
As it goes.
Y'all did still put on
GGs.
a really good show, though. We were saying at times that, depending on how long it takes Andy to get that flute or how long it takes Emo to get
Yeah.
that big key, it really could have gone either way, especially
it
with
just-
the early sword advantage for Emo.
Oh yeah, Emo, you were on gold. Andy was sitting there on fighter sword, and you
Oh,
were on
Lord,
gold at one point.
Yeah,
I got all 3 of the other swords like back to back to back.
Nice.
Basically.
Nice. Yeah, I was doing some sort of mental math, right? And I think had I not missed the pod big the first time, I think it would have been very close. Like I think it would have stayed very close up until the end, just like based on the math.
Yeah, I mean it was really close in general. The point where Andy had just finished Turtle Rock and you had finished Turtle Rock a little bit sooner, and you did Pyramid Fairy. If you had gone to pod then, we would have had a race.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought about it, but I was like, no, if it's there, I lost. So it's stupid. Of course I'm not going to go there. How dumb would that be?
You're never going to be like, oh, you know what? I bet my opponent last location, the fluted sick kid.
No, that was not the thing that I was thinking at all. So there were, I was like, there's so many items in Swamp. Like, what? Of course it's going to be in Swamp, because there's no way that the pod big key is in pod. That's dumb.
I mean, pod small keys in pod, we see that all the time, but pod big key,
that's a whole other thing. There's so many of them, but yeah, the pod. I was like, there's no way. I'm just gonna go do Swamp, and yeah, that's true, Spleeble. I should have just assumed my opponent got distracted by ants and made the optimistic ant-based play. Like I feel like that would have been the way to go.
Yeah, I was especially after the swamp play, I was feeling really, really bad. Hookless swamp with a fighter sword is not a fun time.
No, not so much.
Not at all. Hookless swamp with any sword is not a fun time, let's face it.
Yeah, well, when I have to 2-shot the stupid little water bugs in the first room,
God, yeah, it's so bad. And you don't have the hookshot to kill them easily. You don't have the better sword.
I could have used fire rod or something, but I was like, I don't even know what to do. Yeah, it was just a series of unfortunate events for everybody, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Well, these things do happen, and rando is rando, so.
That's true. That's true. I keep forgetting that rando is rando and joining tournaments, though. Like, that's the problem. The problem is I keep forgetting that rando is rando and then continue to play it.
Yeah, I think we all have that issue.
I just need to say on stream that I blame Apathy Duck 07 for all of this, because he's the one who told me to join the tournament when I was on the fence about it.
Wait. Duck hasn't joined a tournament in 2 years, and you're listening to him?
He was like, it'll give you something to complain about. And I'm like, that's true. But then I didn't expect to complain this much. And then for like the last week, he's basically just been saying over and over and over again. He's like, well, I didn't know there were dumb modes in it when I told you to join.
No, he needs to do his research to see if he's going to give you that kind of advice.
Exactly.
I don't know if Duck's ever read anything in his life. So
fair point.
Can read, I do know that, but I don't know how much he's leveraged the ability. He definitely didn't read the tourney doc for this, I can tell you that.
No.
That's for sure.
Next time he encourages you to join a tournament, tell him you'll join if he joins.
Or you just give him some ants and then let him think about that.
Yeah, honestly, if I had the ants power, like he might have gotten the ants.
Oh gosh. Okay, well, we're gonna need to wrap this up pretty soon. But anything else either one of you want to add before we go ahead and close it out?
No ants next Tuesday, please, Emo. Thank you.
I'll do my best. And GG again, Andy, and thanks to you guys for commentating and whoever was tracking and all of that dumb stuff.
Yes.
Thanks for doing it.
All right, thank you. Okay, yeah, we do still have lots on this. Well, still 3 more matches on the schedule, 2 of which are going on right now. Over on the ALTTP Randomizer 2 channel, we have Scottish Brave versus Laggy. Over on Speed Gaming 3, just starting, we have NY Rambler versus Zelga-san. And then on Speed Gaming 3, right after that, at 11:10 p.m., we have Tjjoll versus Spleeby. And shout outs to Spleeby. He's the one that was our restreamer today, restreaming a very, very important job. We couldn't do these extra races that are not on the main Speed Gaming channels without our restreamers. And so huge shout outs to Spleeby. Also, our tracker Reg for clicking the buttons behind the scenes. Trackers, always the MVPs. Can't do it without them. And also, yeah, so that's going to do it. Ewola, pleasure. Glad I could join you on your first commentary. I thought you did great.
Thanks, Tracy. Appreciate it. This was a lot of fun, and this is still a good race, and hope to get to a few more of these in the future.
All right, but yeah, that is going to do it. I'll see you on those other channels. Good night.